Welcome everyone to Content Marketing, What to Say and How to Say It. I'm Lisa Ann Landry, the president of Paradigm Shifts Training and Development, and I am no stranger to the challenges of small business ownership. Having spent 21 years as an entrepreneur after a 14-year career in corporate America. I'm a certified executive coach who has combined my technical aptitude developed from years working at IBM and combined it with my leadership and training skills to address the demands that small business owners have with understanding and crafting social media and email marketing strategy. As a social media strategist, I take complex tools and techniques like social media and email marketing and combine them into a strategy that works for my clients. I work to advance service-based entrepreneurs in using social media and email marketing to market their products and services. My high-impact content marketing strategies have helped entrepreneurs boost their online image and visibility, protect their reputation, and improve business results. I am an international trainer and speaker, and I found myself in 2009 having an empty calendar. And at that time, the economy was bad, and you probably know that when the economy gets bad, people pretty much stop taking training or reduce their training budget. So I decided I needed to do something different to market my business, and I took an online social media marketing boot camp. At the time, I was not involved in social media at all, and quite frankly, I just thought social media was stupid. But that boot camp taught me really important lessons about content marketing. Now you're probably thinking, well, so what? Well, let's just imagine that you're putting together a conference and it's 2009 and you were looking for me. You were looking for a speaker. And you remember seeing me speak and you thought I might be a good fit for your event, but you didn't have my contact information. So you try to hunt me down, and the first place you go is Google. And back in 2009, you would have searched on Lisa Landry. And guess who you would have found? This chick. Lisa Landry, the comedian. You know, I'm really irritated that you would have found her because, well, I'm older than she is, and I kind of feel like I should have dibs on Lisa Landry. But here's the deal. Because of her content marketing, and you can see all the places that she shows up, you would have found her first. Now, if you didn't know my last name and you just knew my middle name and you searched on Lisa Ann, you would have found this gorgeous, beautiful, hot, tan porn star. Do you see a little problem here for me and my training and speaking business? Because this Lisa Landry, was on page 10 of Google's search results. Would you have found me? No. Why? Well, the fact of the matter is if you don't show up on the first page of search results, you pretty much don't exist. So since I had no visibility online, but these other Lisa Landrys and Lisa Ann's had tremendous visibility, I wasn't showing up. And therefore, people didn't know that I existed, and I was not getting any work. Today, I go by my full name, Lisa Ann Landry, and because of how I use email marketing and social media, not only do I show up in search results on the first page, I show up on the first 9 pages. So imagine what that's done for my business. Along with visibility, I have raving fans, and raving fans are incredibly important because not only do they buy your products and services, they also market you for free to their friends and family and colleagues. And why do they do that? Well, for me, these are people who I practice my strategies on, and they worked. They asked me for my tips, and if I had them in a book, which at the time I didn't, I got asked that question so much I finally wrote a book, and I've had phenomenal response. You'll have to get one. By the way, my raving fans were incredibly supportive during my book launch, and they showed up in full force and actually spread the word. It helped my book to achieve Amazon bestseller status. Welcome to What to Say and How to Say It, using words and images to craft your emails. Let me take just a minute to explain constant contact for those of you who may not be familiar with it. Have you ever needed a tool to create business newsletters, announcements, and events? Something to help you create and manage campaigns? Well, I had a client that was looking for a solution to promote her business, and I told her Constant Contact is a do-it-yourself online marketing system. You can use it to create and manage campaigns. The company is best known for its email marketing tools. It's easy to create and send mass emails like newsletters or announcements. You can run special promotions or offers. You can build online surveys and polls to gather feedback, and you can promote and manage events using Constant Contact with registration tools, payment acceptance, invitations, all in one place. All of this is built on top of a really good contact database so that you can load all of your contacts, your customers, stakeholders, volunteers, staff, your board, whatever list you're keeping in various spreadsheets or in your Outlook, Gmail, or Yahoo folders can be loaded and organized easily in Constant Contact so that your people and your marketing campaigns are all together in one spot. Oh, and it costs most people between $20 and $75 a month to manage it all. I want to give you a simple definition or framework for what marketing really is. You already know generally what it is, but when I say the word marketing, I mean something very specific, and it's important that we're all on the same page. My definition of marketing has three simple parts. 1. You define an audience, a group of people that you want to target. 2. You reach out to them with a message that is specific to that audience. And 3. You elicit a physical and measurable response, which are the results that you want and need your business to get. So what kind of results are we talking about? These are examples of physical and measurable responses. These actions represent a decision by a person to do something in response to what you put out there. It's not a mechanical response, it's human, and it must be measurable. But keep in mind that your overall goal comes back to why you're in business or what's going to keep you in business. Generating revenue or donations. If the responses you're getting don't lead in some way directly to the bottom line, then you should evaluate why you're driving those types of responses. Today, we're going to talk about how the content you can share, whether it's written or images, can drive the responses you need to help your business or organization. Content is currency on the internet, and it works offline too. When it comes to content, you have an advantage over big businesses and your organization and big organizations because you can use the tools and tips we talk about today to have a real conversation with your customers, clients, members, and volunteers. You can also use their feedback and questions to come up with new content. Content is what people search for, consume, and share, and it's what they pay attention to. Through the content you email to your audience, you can become a source that your customers and volunteers know, like, and trust. As we progress through this presentation, think about the conversations you have with your customers or clients. What kind of questions do they ask you, and how can you use those questions and conversations to create email? Now, let's tackle the big question. What kind of content should you use in your emails? Well, my clients struggle with this, but it's really simple. Email content basically boils down to a picture, a paragraph, and a call to action. Email content is made up of words, images, and videos you use in your email campaigns that is designed to attract, convert, and retain an audience. When you're sending out an email to the people on your contact list, you want to make sure it's relevant and interesting and includes a clear call to action, meaning the response you're seeking to solicit from your reader, whether that's buying a product, taking your advice, signing up for services, referring you to a friend, donating to your nonprofit, or answering your survey, or whatever action you're hoping they take. You can make that action easily accessible by including links to whatever you want your audience to do. Here's an example of an email from a company called Great Vacation Retreats. At the top of the message, they have a great picture that prominently features their brand and a text box that announces their deal, a paragraph that describes it, and a link, which is a call to action for the reader to view their available vacation rentals. Even if they don't list the individual rental in the email, they would have made more than enough information that communicates the action they want their audience to take to book a rental in Kauai. I have to remind my clients of this little tip all the time, and that is the approach that Great Vacation Retreats took with this email is inherently mobile friendly. It's a single column template. There's not too much text and it's not too long. This email will look great no matter whether the reader opens it on mobile or on the desktop. Remember, when you're thinking of content that you'll create from scratch, you're not writing for yourself. You're writing for your audience. So make your message relevant, short, and focused. Your email shouldn't be telling recipients every single thing that you do, and it shouldn't include extraneous information. You can make it relevant to your audience by thinking about the conversations you've had with your clients, customers, and members after an interaction. You might want to just jot some ideas down that can help you expand on a topic. I've mentioned relevance a few times. Well, here's why it's important that you include content that's for your audience and not for yourself. 38% of email recipients will unsubscribe if they think the content in your email is boring or irrelevant. And when a person unsubscribes, you won't be able to communicate with them again. 32% will send irrelevant content to their spam folder, which could impact how email providers like Gmail or Yahoo sort future messages. Are you ready to get strategies on what to say and how to say it to your ideal clients? Now, for a lot of you, this will be plenty to get you started and go along your way. For others, you are going to say, this is just whetting my appetite. And some of you might even want some tools to help you carry these strategies out. Well, I promise, if you stick with me to the end, I'll give you some tools that will help you carry these strategies out. Now, just do a little virtual wave at me if this is you. How many of you have said to yourself, I really don't have time to make email marketing work for me? Well, here's what I want you to know. Most successful people follow a system. And what I'm here to do is talk to you about a system today that will work for you if you work it. Here's what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about creating content. How will you come up with the ideas for the words, images, and calls to action you will use in your email marketing? Then we'll talk about curating content, how to find and share content from outside sources that you can use in your marketing. We'll talk about extending your reach beyond your email by using social media, and then we'll talk about how you can get started developing content ideas for your own organization. First, let's talk about content you create. What do you write about in your emails? This is one of the biggest questions and the biggest hurdles people encounter when they set out to create an email. In fact, not only is it one of the biggest challenges and hurdles for people creating content for emails, I found it's a huge challenge for people creating content for their social sites too. As a social media strategist, the question came up so much it led me to write the book Content Marketing: How to Get Started. I'll share some tips from my book with you here. The good news is that you know your organization better than anyone, and there's a world of ideas out there for you. First, and above all else, you write about what you know that they don't know. This is an opportunity to share your knowledge and raise your profile as an interesting organization and an expert in your field. Here are some ideas of types of content you can share with your audience. Take a minute to look at what's on the screen right now and be thinking of ways you can explore these ideas with content about your business. Let's talk about a few of them. Offerings. I had a client with a new product. I advised her to write a paragraph describing what it does or use a photo or video to share a quick product demonstration or tutorial. I used a newsletter to announce the launch of my new book, including a picture of the front cover and a link to Amazon where people could purchase it. If you have an event coming up, send out all the details in a short email, including a link to register for the event. It was great to use the Constant Contact event spot tool to send invitations to my book launch party. Updates. Do you have a new location? I recently moved from Seattle to Atlanta. That makes for great content for a newsletter. I even included the picture of the moving van loaded with the furniture when it left Seattle and then when it was unloaded in Atlanta. Have you hired a new employee, or do you have a well-known employee retiring? Share their history at the company. Send out a bio and a photo to your customers and clients. Updates can go out in the form of newsletters or even press releases. Perhaps you're a non-for-profit and you've received a big grant. That's a perfect reason to send out an email update. Did you have a recent event? Send out a survey asking recipients how it was, or send an email to share photos of the event. Education. You are an expert in your field. Write about what you know that your audience doesn't. This is your opportunity to weigh in with your perspective on a study or on a news story. If you're selling a product, you can make a video that demonstrates how to use it. You can also share your know-how. Let's say you own a landscaping company. You can send out an email early in the spring and lay out a good planting schedule for your clients. I use my newsletter to educate people about social media and email marketing and content marketing. When I do webinars, the Constant Contact event spot is perfect to track registrations and collect payments. Entertainment. Don't be afraid to show your fun side. Have you seen a funny YouTube video that relates to your field? Or have you heard an interesting, funny, or inspiring quote you want to share? Maybe you and your employees have made a cool behind-the-scenes video. That is something that could really show off your environment and personality. Here, I took a quote and I put and created this little video with this quote. I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that is unique as a fingerprint, and that the best way to succeed is to discover what you love, and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of service, working hard, and also allowing the energy of the universe to lead you. And that's a quote from Oprah Winfrey. So your fans will love things like this. My clients often ask how much content you should include in your emails. Well, think about it. How often do you look forward to reading a long, detailed email from a business? Not very often, right? You're looking for something concise and easy to read. What's the news? What are the details of the deal or sale? Is there any action I want or need to take? And that's what you should think about when you create your own emails. When it comes to email content, less is more. Always. There's no rule that says your newsletter needs to have 3 articles, 3 pictures, and 3 links. One thing is plenty. Constant Contact did a study of our customers and found that best practices suggest to limit yourself to 20 lines of text and 3 or fewer images. Just like you, your audience is busy. You don't need to worry about sending a ton of information every time. Our research also shows that one link gets the best click-through rate. You want your audience to take an action, so use a link to make that clear. 2 links are okay, but once you get to 3 links, the click-through rate starts to decline. Any higher than 5 links means that people are less likely to click anywhere in your email. So try to stick with only 1 or 2 clicks and keep them high in your message so people don't have to scroll down to take an action. And don't forget that more than half of your audience is reading email on a mobile device. Who's going to scroll through 14 articles on the phone? And for your mobile readers, make sure that you're keeping your message short and your calls to action above the fold, meaning readers don't have to scroll down to get to your most important content. Even if the idea of creating content still feels daunting, remember, keeping your message short and focused is actually much better than putting tons of information into one email. You can use outlines to help you further focus your ideas and organize the sections of your email. Any text you'll write yourself, and any photos or videos you want to use, and any content from any outside sources that you want to share. And we're going to talk more about content curation in a few minutes. Jot down a list of topics that come up in conversation with your customers and use those to spark ideas for email campaigns. If you get 5 questions from your clients, that's 5 separate email topics you can build on. Show your expertise in your field. Become a knowledgeable resource for your audience, and they will look forward to your emails. And make your message reflect your brand. This is easy to do with email tools like Constant Contact. Now, we won't get into email design today, but you can visit the Constant Contact website for great design tips and tricks to make your emails look visually fantastic. Let's talk about turning your interactions with your customers into content for emails. Think for a second about the last interaction you had with someone at your organization. What questions did a customer or client have? What information are people requesting about your not-for-profit? Can you turn an answer to their questions into an email? Here's some great questions as an examples. In my book on content marketing, How to Get Started, I invite the reader to go on a scavenger hunt and gather content that's already been created. One lady told me she had a hard copy of all the newsletters her company had ever sent out since 1986. Think of all the evergreen content in the newsletters that could be repurposed. Things like cartoons, jokes, fun facts, recipes, historical events, awards. In your line of work, have you not been asked the same question hundreds of times? Some of you have been asked so many times, somebody put a list of frequently asked questions on your website. Well, each of those could make great newsletter content. And don't worry if you don't have frequently asked questions on your website. One easy way to practice this in real life is to create 2 columns on a spreadsheet or a document, or just on a piece of paper with questions you regularly get on the left. And then on the right column, write down a way you can turn the answers to those questions into an email full of fresh, relevant content. Now, I want to show you the difference between a regular email from your own Outlook, Gmail, or Yahoo account and one sent through an email service provider like Constant Contact. An email from a service provider looks better and gets you noticed. You can use it to feature your brand's logo and colors and include graphics that will capture your reader's attention. All of this, including the graphics, comprise email content. With a combination of text and great images, you will get through to your audience. And from a purely legal and practical perspective, an email service provider will help you protect your message from being considered spam. Check out the email on the right. The colors and graphics make the message eye-catching and more professional looking than the one on the left. As a matter of fact, and this might be a relief for those of you suffering from writer's block, great content doesn't have to be written at all. Visual content like photos, videos, graphics, and word images make a huge impact in an email inbox. Did you know that 90% of information processed by the brain is visual content, and more than half of consumers believe that images are a very important factor when buying? Visuals are important to your business because they influence customers' purchasing decisions. 67% of consumers believe that images are a very important factor when selecting and purchasing a product. You can use photos to show off your products or shots from a recent event, and you can link to videos to show your organization in action or a product demonstration. Word images, a brief phrase, statistic, or quote over a background image are great ways to show information in an eye-catching way. And creating visual content is easier than ever these days. Almost anyone with a smartphone has the ability to shoot high-quality photos and videos. You don't need too much time or a huge marketing budget to create compelling images anymore. You've got the technology right there in your pocket. Now, you've heard that a picture is worth 1,000 words. In your email, you can communicate through images as well as text. Turn your images into clickable links so that when your readers click on your image, they will be directed to the action you want them to take. Just make sure you also include a text link to the same location, because about 67% of email readers will not see images by default. Email tools like Constant Contact make it easy to assign a URL to your images and also to add alt text so that a description of the image appears even if the reader doesn't see the picture. Here's a side note. Try to avoid giving too many choices in your campaign. These are supposed to be quick decisions to act. Click to shop in your online store, or selecting an item and clicking to buy. Too many choices will reduce the number of decisions or actions a person can take. It's a time limit thing. So think of your campaign as window shopping. You want to entice someone to come in right then and buy because of whatever got their attention. When you're using images in your marketing, you're faced with the task of creating that content, deciding what images are best, and determining their context and the story around them. That's a lot to think about. And you're probably wondering where to begin. Well, here's some direction. Images can be created around your business, your environment and what's around you, your expertise, and themes that you decide your audience will love. Now, you don't have to have a product to sell to include visual content in your emails. If you have a new employee, feature their photo with a caption explaining who they are and what they'll bring to your business. If you're a not-for-profit, share photos of a recent event or a graphic showing the progress of a fundraising campaign. Photos are a frequent and necessary piece for visual content. Sometimes you might find you need a photo that you do not have or cannot create on your own. There are a variety of online stock photo sites where you can search for just the right photo that fits your needs. They are a great resource and can work well for visual content that's based around a theme, a tip, a fact, or a quote. When you download a photo, be sure it's the right size or slightly larger. You can always crop it or scale it down, but it will lose image quality if you try to enlarge a small image too much. It might be tempting, but it is never a good idea to use just any image you find through a search, including sample stock photos with a watermark on them. There can be copyright issues associated with those images. They belong to someone else. When using stock photos, you purchase the right to use a photo, or in some cases accept a free download and agree to certain credit conditions. Fees can vary, so shop around for what feels right for you and fits your budget. Here's some services that you can use to get free stock photos. Now, Constant Contact customers have access to over 12 million images through Big Stock. But even if you aren't a customer, Big Stock offers a free trial for new customers. There's also Stock Vault and free images. Video is a powerful way to engage with your audience, and people prefer to watch a video to reading long web pages full of text. When you're using video, make sure to mention in your subject line that of your email that it includes a video so your readers know about it right away. Consumers prefer watching a video to reading long text articles. In fact, 50% of people are more likely to read emails that include a video. But make sure that the length of your video is within 90 seconds. That's the point at which 58% of viewers will stop watching. You can make video work for your business. You use it to show product demos, customer testimonials, promotional materials, or share user-generated content. We're talking about emails today, but video is becoming very prominent on social media. 84% of consumers have liked videos from companies in their social media news feed. If you email a video link, you can also repurpose it on social media platforms for that audience to watch and share. The example here is a great way to use video. The Pajama program sent this email out with a link to a video thanking their donors. Now make sure you're using video in a careful, deliberate way. If you have a specific action that you want your reader to take, for example, to register for an event, you should choose text and pictures rather than video, because using a video in that case will lessen the likelihood that your readers will take that action, because they will click on the video and be taken over to YouTube. Kiva Falls RV Park shows a photo from a customer who documented her recent visit. One way to inspire user-generated content is to create a hashtag. A hashtag is a word or phrase beginning with a pound sign or a hash sign that creates a link connecting all of the posts using that hashtag on a particular social network. You can create your own hashtags by coming up with a unique word or phrase, or even your brand name. Make sure you keep it short and don't use any spaces or punctuation, just letters and numbers. So for example, I use the hashtag social media strategist when I share content about social media. For more unique ideas on how to use hashtags for branding, for campaigns, and other things, take a look at my book. It's packed with ideas. Once you've created a hashtag, ask your customers and clients, members, employees, and volunteers to create social media posts with that hashtag. Then you can select your favorites to share. Now we're going to talk about how you can extend your reach beyond your email audience. Once you've decided what content you're going to use in your communications, it's time to share it. This way, you extend your reach as much as possible. Using email is one way to share content, but you can also share it through social media. Email marketing tools like Constant Contact make it easy for you to share your content on different social platforms, and also for your audience to share your content across their social platforms. When you're thinking of content to use on social media, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can use the content you've already sent in your email and break it into smaller pieces of social media content. And don't worry, this isn't going to translate into a lot of extra work for you. You're already building out content for the future as you focus on your emails. For example, let's say you're a marketing consultant for businesses that run a lot of events, and you've sent an email to your clients with 4 tips about selling more tickets for their event. We'll call that your original email. Now, let's quickly think of a few ways to extend the content by expanding on each tip as its very own social media post. The tip on sending your invitations in advance could be expanded to a Facebook post about when to send your event invitations. Hanging flyers in your store could be turned into a great infographic on effective flyer design that you share across all your social networks. Advice to post events on Facebook could expand to a blog post on promoting events on Facebook, which you could share across all your social networks. And a tip about special pricing for VIPs could be repurposed into 5 tweets spread across a week about the things VIPs want. Here's an example of a company, the Grafton Inn in Vermont, repurposing content. They use this image of a porch swing in their email, which announced summer activities at the inn. They repurposed the photo on Facebook to show their weekly schedule, and on Instagram they shared it with their followers with a cute caption. You can do the same thing. Take a tip, a quote, an image, or anything that your audience will find interesting and share it on whatever social network you use. Now, do keep a few things in mind. First, change the content a little bit for each network. And I'm not just talking about its size. Change the caption or text in the post to reflect the style, etiquette, and voice for each network. Don't post exactly the same thing in each place. Next, don't worry about being repetitive. Now, people are following you because they like you. They might miss your post on Facebook but catch it later on Pinterest. Or they might follow you on Pinterest but not on Facebook. So you need to make sure you're covering all the places people might be seeing your content. And finally, while we're talking about using multiple social networks, just keep in mind that you don't have to use all of them for your business. Just choose the ones that are right for you and your audience. It's better to focus on a couple of social networks and do a good job with them than to have a bunch that you don't have time for and manage poorly. When it comes to extending your reach, you want to make sure that you're meeting your audience where they are. Email is a great place to start, but you can reach more people by sharing your email content on all of your social media platforms. Think about it this way. There's probably some overlap between your email contact list and your followers on social media, but those groups are not likely to be identical. Also, what your followers do on social media, their followers see. If someone likes or comments on your post on Facebook, all of their friends will see that and see your name. Marketing on social media tends to be less expensive than traditional advertising. If cost is an issue, you'll get more return on your time, money, and energy by going first through email and subsequently through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever social platform you're using. Each has its own typical audience and decision process. You want to start on the social network you're already using and then begin to move to where your customers and contacts are so that you can leverage the existing network you have on those sites and begin to generate some social visibility along the way. That visibility is so important because it keeps you at the top of your clients' minds. They're not always ready to buy your products and services, but if you stay at the top of their mind, they'll think of you when they are ready. So to be clear, email is part of social media. And if you're doing it right, keeping your message short, making the action or response obvious and simple, and providing access, information, and real value, then you will grow your business. The best part of this is, if you're a constant contact customer, we make sharing emails and social media really easy. If you're using Constant Contact, add the share bar to the top of your emails. This allows your readers to post a link to your email on their social media profiles. And add social media buttons that link to your business's social media profiles. The buttons are a nice visual reminder for them to click and follow you online. Remind your audience to share your promotions and ask them to like them on Facebook, retweet on Twitter, or pin on Pinterest. Your audience has a lot of influence via word of mouth, and you can get your promotions in front of more people, their friends and family, if they help you spread the word. Constant Contact allows you to extend the reach of your emails by using the Social Share tool. Social Share offers a quick and easy way to share an email on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn with suggested post messages, images, and the best times to schedule posts based upon when your social audience is most active. It also makes it easy to plan social posts for an email with a monthly calendar. Now let's talk about the next step you can take. Remember, when you're thinking of content that you create from scratch, you're not writing for yourself, you're writing for your audience. So use links to direct your audience where you want them to go, and make your message relevant, short, and focused with a call to action that's very clear. It can be very helpful to keep a calendar to schedule emails and social media posts ahead of time. Keep that running list of topics that come up in your organization and plan out your publishing schedule in whatever way that works best for you. There are no hard and fast rules about how you should schedule. Just make sure whatever you do is realistic for you to follow. Whether you use an Outlook calendar, a Google Doc, a Notes app, or your mobile device, or a handwritten schedule, anything else that keeps you organized. If you're using email marketing service like Constant Contact, you can track what types of content get the most clicks and opens and use that information as a guide for future emails. You can also, from time to time, send out a survey asking your audience what types of content they would prefer to receive from you. In the beginning of this presentation, I said that email content boils down to a picture, a paragraph, and a call to action. You can use this as a really basic outline to create content for any subject you think of. Take the last question you answered for a customer and develop an email around it using a picture, a paragraph, and a call to action. Let's go back to our first example about the vacation in Hawaii. And say your customer question is, what offers are available for renting in Kauai? First, the picture. Remember, 90% of information absorbed by the brain is visual. So how can you illustrate the subject to catch your reader's attention? Don't forget, you can use stock photography. You don't need to be selling a product to use visuals. This photo of a beautiful seaside cliff in Hawaii grabs the reader and makes her want to learn more about seeing it in person. Next, what is it that you need to write? Respond to that last question you were asked. Your paragraph can be just a few words introducing a link, a longer explanation about the subject, or tips to answer the question in a few steps. In this example, the paragraph explains that rentals are available and that every third night is free. Finally, you need a call to action. What do you want your audience to do in reaction to your email? Come to your business for a consultation, buy a product, register for an event, or donate. Make your call to action prominent and clear. Here, the call to action is a link where the readers can go to the vacation company's website and see, then hopefully reserve, the available rentals in Kauai. Thank you for joining me today. Many small business owners say, I'm just doing fine without social media and email marketing. Well, I admit I thought that myself at one time, and I was wrong. My business was failing, and I learned a strategy that makes me visible by sharing content, planting seeds, and dripping on the seeds I planted. You may be thinking, I don't have enough money or time to spend on an email marketing tool. Well, most of the techniques I'm teaching require a time commitment, and everything I've taught you can be done with constant contact for a minimal investment to take your business to the next level and get greater results. So I want to give you a special offer for all of those of you who participated in this webinar, and that is a 30% discount off of Constant Contact for the next 3 months. You can either get email or email plus, and you just click on that URL or use that URL, and then when you're signing up for it, use the promotion code SAVEQ416. And this promotion code expires on December 31st of 2016. Now, when you take advantage of this offer, you will have 3 months of Constant Contact, email or email plus service for 30% off for every month for 3 months. You will have 24-hour award-winning customer service. And the customer service has customer success coaches there to help you navigate through Constant Contact. They will assist you in uploading your first contact list. They will help you get your template set up and help you customize your first email. After the promotion period, monthly pricing will kick in, and that pricing is based up on your email list. Now, if I can be of any help to you, please give me a call. My phone number and email address is on the first slide in this presentation. Thank you for listening. My name is Lisa Ann Landry. I am your social media marketing strategist.